Hello all, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will discuss about how to use the border layout and flow layout in Java. So let's do the same thing practically. Let me save this program as, and that program is demo1.java. Now I want the simple frame first, and then I want to add the different buttons and text area, text field and label and all these things. So first of all, I want the frame, and whenever you want the frame, you can import the package, and that is the AWT package. So you can write java.awt.star, and here you can create the class which extends from frame. So frame is a container in which we can put the controls like text field, button, text box, like that. I want the good interface, so I'm using the frame that is JFrame, and whenever you are using the JFrame, you need to import the package, and that is the swing. So you can write here import java x dot swing dot star. This is the package in which JFrame is available. Now I want to write here constructor that is test. Now I want to create one more class, and that is a test demo. And here I'm implementing the main method, that is public static void main. Now here you can create the instance of test t equal to new test. Then what happens? The instance of frame will be created. So whenever you create the constructor of test, it will definitely call the constructor of the superclass, and that is frame. It means that the frame will be created. So if you compile this program, then frame will not be displayed. If you compile this program, that is demo1.java, then what happens? It will compile successfully. But whenever you run this Java test demo, what happens? It will load the frame, but the frame is not visible to us. Why? Because by default the frame is invisible. That is, you can say by default frame is hidden. So here you can say that t.setVisibleTrue. True. By default it is false. It means that the frame is hidden. You can save this. You can compile and run your code. Your frame will be displayed. See here in a top left corner, the frame is available. But this frame having no width and no height. But whenever you close this frame, definitely it will be closed. But your program will not be closed. It means that the frame is not closed yet. So here you can press Ctrl C, then your frame will be closed. Now I want that whenever user click on close, I want to close that particular frame. Then you can call the function set default close operation, and here you can pass the value that is exit on close. So what happens? Whenever you click on close button, your frame will be closed. You can compile your code and you can run this. Whenever you run this, now whenever you click on close, the frame will be closed. But now I want to increase the size of the frame. So here you can call the function that is a t.setBounds. SetBounds having the 4 argument. So first argument you can say that is the x, y, second argument is y, third argument is width, and fourth argument is height. So here you can provide the x, y, width and height. For example, my x is that is 100 and y is for example 20. My width is for example 500 and my height is 200. Now suppose if you compile this and if you run this, what happens? See, this distance is 100, upper distance is 20, width is 500 and height is 200. Now suppose if you change your y, for example if you make it here y is 200, right, then your frame will be moved vertically. So you can compile and run, you will be able to see here that this is the 200 height, this gap is x, this is your width and this is your height. Now I want to add the controls. It means that I want the button. So let me write here control, that is in this class I'm writing the control that is J button, and the instance of button is B1. Now I want to create the button, so I'm just writing here B1 equal to new J button, and here you can write the text. For example, button text is click me, and here you can add the button. So whenever you write add B1, this button will be added to frame. But what happened? By default frame layout is border layout. So what happened? Your button will be added, but it will be in the center of the screen. So whenever you save this, whenever you compile and run this particular code, you will get your button, but it will be in the center of the screen. See here. If you resize your screen, your button will be stretched, right? So you will get the button, but that button will occupy the full screen. Why it happens? Just because the default layout is the border layout. So by default button is available at the center if it is a border layout and if you are not setting where you want to put this button. But I want this button at north. Then you can write here BorderLayout.NORTH. North is the constant available in BorderLayout class. Now you can compile your code and whenever you run this, you will find your button click me at the north. Now I want the 4 buttons. So I'm just writing here B1, B2, B3 and B4. And this button is the north button. So I'm just writing the text of button is north. Let me copy this. Let me paste here. Whenever you paste, this is the button number 2, that is B2. You can say that this button is a south button. So I'm just writing here this button is a south and I want this button at the south side. So this will be my button number 2. This is my side, that is you can say east. So here you can write that button should be placed in a east side. This is button number 3. This is button number 3. This is button number 4. This is also button number 4. And here you can say that this is button that is west. And I want that the side is west. Now you can save this. Now you can compile your code and whenever you run this, you will get that there are 4 buttons. See, north, south, east and west. And all these buttons are clickable, right? And whenever you resize your frame, your button will always remain at their side. And that is north, west, east and south. So here we can say that this is the by default layout is the border layout. Now I want a text area over here in between, right? So in center I want the text area. So let me take here one more widget and that is a J text area. So this is my text area. Let me write here TA equal to new J text area and you can simply add your text area. Whenever you are not saying that where you want to put this particular control, then by default it is available in the center. So whenever you compile and run, you will get a text area over here. You can type here, see, hello all. I hope you all are enjoying the content. But I don't want to type here. Whenever user click on north button, I want the text here. And that is the north button is clicked. Whenever user click on east, I want the text here, east button is clicked. It means that I want to implement the event handling. So whenever you want to implement the event handling, you need the package and that package is java.awt.event.star. So event handling is required. Whenever you click on button and you want to perform the action and for that you need the action listener. So here you can call b1.add action listener. Generally what happened, people are writing this over here and people are writing what? Implementing the action listener over here. That is implements action listener. But I want to call the anonymously, so I'm directly writing that b1.add action listener and here you can provide the instance of action listener. So here you can write that new action listener and here you can call the function. This action listener is the interface. So you need to override the function and that function is the action performed. So here you can write the function that is public void action performed and here you can pass the instance of action event. Now you can simply write what? ta.setText, that is text area.setText, north button is clicked, right? So whenever user click on this button, the function will be called that is action performed and the message will be displayed that is north button is clicked, right? And this is the action listener. Now, suppose if button number 2 is clicked, then you just need to copy this content, copy this content, copy this content. If it is a button 2, then you can write code of button 2 here. If it is a button 3, then you can write the code of button 3 here. And if it is a button 4, then you can write the code of button 4 here. So here you can say that if button 2 is clicked, then south button is clicked. If button 3 is clicked, then east button is clicked. And if button 4 is clicked, then west button is clicked. You can save this. You can compile your code, and whenever you run this, you will be able to see here, you can click on any button. East button is clicked, north button is clicked, west button is clicked, south button is clicked. So I did what? I did nothing. See here, I call the anonymously over here. I just pass the instance of action listener over here, and I override the function action performed. So whenever button 1 is clicked, this function will be called, and that is the reason why I'm getting here north button is clicked. So you can say that the default layout is the border layout, but I don't want to put only this 5 controls. Sometimes what happened, we need to put another control also. So here 5 locations are fixed: north, west, south, east and center. So I want to put each and every control one by one, that is in a flow, right? So if you want to put your control one by one, then you can use the layout over here, and that layout is known as a flow layout. What is the role of flow layout? Flow layout means one by one, whenever you add the control, it will be simply added to the container. By default, it is a border, but whenever you are using flow layout, it will be one by one, each and every control will be put into the frame. So this line number 9 is most important. If you save this, if you compile and rerun this particular code, this line number 9, make the changes into your code, and that will be like this. Whenever you click over here, you will get north button is clicked, south button is clicked, east button is clicked, and west button is clicked. But suppose if you are putting the comment over here, then by default layout is the border layout. So if you compile and run, you will get the output like this. That is north button is clicked, east button is clicked, south button is clicked. Sometimes people says that, sir, can we write here that is border layout? Yes, you can write, but by default it is a border layout, so no need to write. If you are writing border layout or if you are not writing border layout, both will give you the same result like this, because default layout is the border layout.